Gerber, new week and a new forecast for southeast Texas. Looks like weather that we were expecting over the weekend, some wet weather looked like, at least that's what it looked like over last weekend. For this upcoming weekend, looked like it was going to be pretty wet, but now the forecast is flip-flop this morning and it shows a dry weekend coming up. So outdoor plans really look good for this weekend. Hopefully that won't flip back as we head a little bit closer, but right now it shows a pretty dry weekend. And we do have a chance for rain this week. We are way behind for the year. So hopefully we can catch up just a tiny bit over maybe a Thursday, Friday time period where we're expecting some showers. Right now, I think we're over 11 inches behind for the year. All right, our rest of the day forecast, if you're heading out this afternoon, temperature's going to be into the lower 80s with partly to mostly cloudy skies. We'll go highs about 83. Back down into the 70s by 6 o'clock, about middle 70s there at 76. And then by 10 o'clock this evening, look for temperatures starting to dip down into those upper 60s, but a lot of the area, especially the triangle here, will be right near about 70. Allergy report for today. Tree is low once again, but we're still holding on to medium for weed, grass, and mold. These numbers may be down a little bit from Friday, but still on the medium side. So if you got some allergies, you might run into a little bit of problems if you're especially allergic to maybe weed and grass. Outside, like I said, partly to mostly cloudy depending on where you are in southeast Texas. As we look at the view from the Horseman's Western store over in Orange, kind of a mix of some partly cloudy and mostly cloudy skies out there right now. Our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network currently showing 78 degrees. Humidity, look at that, 77%. So back up there where we seeing a lot of moisture in the lower levels of the atmosphere, seeing southwesterly winds right now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Remember last week we had these percentage of humidity was down there around 50%, so it felt a little bit more comfortable. So it's going to be warm, humid out there for this afternoon. Here's the view from Pack of the Prairie, and you can see some partly cloudy skies in the foreground, but if you look off in the distance there, maybe it looks like a little bit more mostly cloudy. Roofing 911 Live Skycam network from Pack of the Prairie, currently 79, so getting close to 80. There's that humidity once again into the lower 70s at about 71%. And we're looking at a little bit of a west wind out there right now between, say, 2 and 8 miles per hour. You can see those southwesterly winds anywhere between about 2 and 6, pretty constant. So there is a little bit of a breeze, even though it's going to be on the warm side this afternoon. That breeze will make it feel a little bit better. Had a lot of fog out there this morning. That definitely has gone and lifted up. Here's the view from our 12 News studio as we look down I-10. You couldn't even hardly see I-10 this morning with all that fog out there. We had a dense fog advisory through mid-morning, and I don't know if we're going to see that again tomorrow morning, but there will be some areas of patchy fog, it looks like, possibly by tomorrow morning, so we'll be watching for that. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing from here at our 12 News studio. And once again, looking at some partly to mostly cloudy skies. There's some sunshine out there for this morning and going into this afternoon as well. We'll see a little bit of sunshine in between a lot of cloud cover out there. Let's take a look at one more camera before we switch over to look at some temperatures, and this is one up in Jasper. Camera brought to you by Provalis on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network, and you can see some partly to mostly cloudy skies once again up in the Jasper area on this Monday morning. All right, temperature-wise, we're getting close to 80. A lot of upper 70s, 78 in Kirbyville, Silsbee, Beaumont, and Orange. Port Arthur now at 79, 75 in Jasper, and then we're showing 80 degrees in Woodville. Towards our west, Huntsville's at 79, Conroe's at 78, Houston's at 80, and same deal for Southwest Louisiana, upper 70s from 78 to Quincy to 77 in Lake Charles. So temperatures pretty uniform, generally into the upper 70s here right before the lunch hour. Satellite and radar not showing much across the state as far as radar, but we are seeing some clouds, especially along coastal parts of Texas. Now, some of this stuff's going to be sliding off towards the east later on this afternoon. That's why I'm expecting maybe a little bit more sunshine. There are some clouds you can see kind of hanging back towards San Antonio, Austin, but the back edge is right there along I-35. So some of that will clear out a little bit, I think, by late in the afternoon. We have a warm front heading north up into parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, northern Louisiana. So that's helping bring in some of that moisture and some of those warmer temperatures. Have a cold front out towards our west. That's really not going to affect us anytime soon. We're expecting maybe some rain with a front coming through. And that's going to be, it looks like Thursday into Friday with area low pressure that's going to be kind of trying to slide through here. Like I said, forecast is really flip-flop from what it was just yesterday. Yesterday had a good chance of rain coming in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and now the computer model is showing that maybe that rain chances are only going to be confined to maybe late Thursday into Friday, and then the weekend dries out and also cools down with highs going from 80s back into the 70s, and we'll show you that on our 7-day. Let's check the rest of the country. Like I said, down in the deep south, there's not much going on. From West Texas all the way over into the southeastern U.S., pretty quiet. Nothing as far as any rain in Florida, through the Carolinas, back down into Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. Texas is dry. Four corner states, at least Arizona and it looks like New Mexico are dry. But look up here, see that big spin? That's an upper level low. Right over parts of Wyoming and also into parts of Colorado. That's finally bringing some snow to some of the higher elevations into Colorado. They are way behind on the snowpack through the Colorado Rockies, and this is a good news for them. They're hopefully getting some snow. You can see some winter weather advisories out there through the Rocky Mountains, which is great news for the ski resorts. They are way behind. And then there's some more activity up through parts of Wyoming, Montana, also probably getting a little bit of snow from this. And then we have another storm system coming onshore out in towards California. Once again, you can see those little purple boxes, more winter weather advisories. So Sierra Nevada getting some snow. So if you have plans to maybe do a little skiing for maybe the Thanksgiving holiday, this is good news for you. Hopefully put down some powder in some of those resorts which have not been seeing a ton of snowfall out there. So the west is a little bit active, and once again the east not quite as active until you get up into New England. Once again, you see the little purple boxes popping up, more winter weather advisories up in there, indicating maybe some lake effect snows through parts of western New York, parts of northwestern Pennsylvania, all the way up into Maine as well. So there is some snow falling out there in this what's today? The 17th of November. So good news for some of those areas that are looking for some snow. Our futurecast really not showing anything for today except for some cloud cover. Like I said, it should clear out a little bit, I think, as far as late this afternoon to this evening. Futurecast trying to show clear skies as we head towards this evening. We might still see a few clouds. Temperatures dropping off into the 70s this evening after we reach those highs into the lower 80s. And then overnight, we're expecting to see temperatures dropping back into the 60s, a lot of middle to upper 60s as we head in towards Tuesday morning. Tuesday, as we head towards the lunch hour, we'll see temperatures already into the lower 80s. We'll stay around 83, 84 for the afternoon on Tuesday. So a day much like today with just some partly cloudy skies. Coastal marine forecast for today: southeasterly winds at 5 to 10 knots, seas around 2 feet. No advisories out there, but you'll see a little bit of a light chop on the inland lakes and bays. You can see at Texas Point right now, southeasterly winds at 9 to 10, water temperature into the lower 70s. High tide, our next one's at 3:10. Our sunset tonight is at 5:19, so those days are continuing to get a little bit shorter. Okay, so our forecast for today, we'll go partly cloudy skies, south winds at 5 to 10, and temperatures anywhere from about 81 along the coast to about 83 inland. A lot of locations about 82, 83 for afternoon highs. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy. I don't think we're going to see too much of that widespread fog, but there will be some pockets of fog out there, possibly. Winds will be light out of the south at 3 to 8, 2 to 7 up in the lakes. And we'll see numbers pretty comparable to what we saw this morning, anywhere from some lower 60s towards the lakes to some middle to upper 60s here around the triangle with that cloud cover and those south winds. So it should stay pretty mild as we head into Tuesday. As we look at our 7-day forecast, once again, on Tuesday we'll see highs around 83, 84. Same deal for Wednesday. You notice those upper 60s for morning lows, afternoon highs right there around 83. So today, Tuesday and Wednesday will look a lot alike. And then as we head towards Thursday, that's when we'll start to see that storm system approach. With that, about a 20% chance of some scattered showers, a couple isolated showers really, and then more scattered stuff on Friday. And that's when we hope we'll pick up maybe a little bit of rain. I don't think we're going to pick up 2 or 3 inches of rain or anything like that, but maybe some places half an inch, quarter of an inch, something like that. So there will be some scattered showers, maybe a few isolated thunderstorms